What's it like working together?
I know. Jeremy's really a rapist.
I can't keep my hands off of her.
It's true.
Yeah. I like to show her my ass.
I've seen it a lot. I've seen a lot more than of Jeremy than I thought I would.
Yeah.
But no, it's fun. You have a good time. You enjoy it.
Have you had a lot of time to rehearse together for different things, or is it mostly here on the day?
Yeah, we rehearse, but it's pretty much pointless. Because we get to the day and everything changes, you know, so it keeps us on our toes, short. No matter how much you rehearse until you find a certain location that we're actually shooting in, it's really manipulated, I think. A lot of the beats and dialogue and that sort of thing, so we just kind of work it in.
Yeah. And then we'll work together, like once we get the, the location set and then, the blocking set, we'll go off by ourselves and, try to find the magic.
Every once in a while we do, don't we?
Yeah, little magic.
I'm really good off camera, I found. I'm really good looking in the dark. These are things I'm learning on this movie. She thinks I'm stunning in the dark, actually. She comments on it all the time.
Pitch black?
Yeah, I'm like,
so hot.
Yeah.
You can't really see it? No.
Well, I have to ask. What was it like? I know that part's already shot. How was the love scene? How was that?
There's a lot of moisture.
We were dripping wet. We had the rain machine.
We were wet because we were rained on.
Yeah.
Her husband would kill me.
Come on. Yeah. It was the rain. We had the rain machines, and between each take we had to go get drenched, and then try to strip off like wet clothes, and
Yeah, it was uncomfortable, really. It was cold. Yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cold.
And Jeremy was nice enough. Like when he grabbed my ass, he didn't grab it in such a way that the cellulite and the dimple showed. So that's really, all you can.
It was caressing. Yeah. It was a little caressing.
He was very thoughtful.
The juicy booty. No, it was really uncomfortable, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean.
It's supposed to be though. We wanted it to be uncomfortable. Well,
sorry.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I wasn't having a good time.
No. Well, parts of you were. But no, this here, you didn't look very enthused.
They want to touch themselves.
There's bits of magic in everything. Not, you can't always say that,
Yeah,
I like the breakup scene, actually.
The breakup scene was good, yeah, that was good.
Jeremy was so amazing that I forgot that I was in the scene with him, and I would just forget. I would start crying just because I'm watching, like you're watching a movie, and then there'd be this long pause, and I'd realize, oh, that's my life. Like, he's amazing.
Off camera.
No.
Again, off camera.
No, he really makes you step your game up. How much you improve.
Finding these characters, obviously, we talked a little bit about but finding these characters is one thing, but then to make these characters come together and make that relationship, which is such an unlikely relationship to work, what were some of the things that you did as actors or as in character to kind of make that happen, like use the magic?
We spent a bit of time together before we actually got, rolling. So, Jeremy and I kind of established a friendship and this mutual respect for one another, and he's charming, you know what I mean? So, when it came to that point where we had to really, really connect, it was easy. It makes it a lot easier.
There's a lot of controversy, or what could be controversial elements of this, some of the themes. So how have you decided to, together, have you talked about how to approach this, or how to make it happen?
Getting over the controversy or creating controversy?
Well, both.
I think, I don't know, in my opinion, I just think that the words, and the action is what it is. How you respond to that is what is up to the individual. And we can only kind of be true to the characters and let the ships follow in it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of polar, and as far as like you said, as far as the actions of the characters and then the actual words of the characters. Which I think is pretty true in any good sort of acting scenes where, like, if I'm saying, I love you or I hate you, and I'm crying because all I do is love you. I mean, that makes it interesting to me. So if I'm saying, all these horrible things about her when I actually adore her, it's it's all covered. It's just how we all operate as humans. We don't always say what we really feel about each other, you know. And so it's just using, you know, a little bit more intensive dialogue to get just the same thing across.
And I think
You want to have sex, you know?
yeah.
Gas
And I
station.
think if you still think, like, by the middle of this movie that Jeremy's really a racist or I really think I'm Hitler, you missed it. Like,
That's right, you got a problem,
yeah, I mean, you need to get out a little bit more often. And I think that's the whole point. Like, on the surface, like, when I'm describing the movie, like, my mom hears on the radio, you're gonna be a Nazi? Why do you want to be Hitler, baby? And I'm like, I'm not, oh my gosh. You know, it's like you understand that this is what it's gonna be like. I think if once people see the movie, hopefully all that controversy will just, you know, drive people to come see the film. But once you're in the theater and you see it, it's like, oh, duh. You know, and you actually see the beauty of the human spirit kind of, you know, rise to the occasion. I hope that people can see through our characters that, you know, the human psyche is a very fragile thing, and we should just, you know, try to go out of our way to be a little bit more kinder and gentler to, you know, others. But also that humans are capable of change. You know, just because you've grown up with one way of thinking, or, you know, you've adopted someone else's ideology does not mean that that's the end-all be-all, that you are capable of change and becoming a better person and a more, you know, a happy, you know, member of, you know, of humankind. Yeah.
Be entertained.
And know that we do have a part of the bad thing. So if you want to go back again, we'd like that a lot. We need another wing to our home.
Okay, that's going to be great. So